What's up, guys? So I have not done my analysis on the markets this week yet. So I wanted to take some time and actually go over that and do it with you guys. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at just a raw look at the markets. I've not done any of my reviews, checked out any charts yet. So we're gonna go through and do that now. So this is kind of like a raw right from the get-go type deal. So, first things first, we've still got some buy signals here, trying to print on the Qs, QQQ at the 50 SMA. Okay. So, nothing too bad as of yet. Looks like where we closed on Friday, we were at just below 1520. So, okay, yeah, we're still hanging out at that 20. Um, the 20 or the 50. So we're hanging out right around there. That's the first thing. I'm actually gonna add the 20 simple here. Oh wait, I actually already have it. Okay. So that should be a little helpful. All right. So we're trading right around the 20 and the 50. Okay. So we're trading right around that area. So nothing too bad with the Qs right now. It's pretty plain and simple trading sideways, right? Um, we tried to have that nice breakout and then ultimately failed. Um, SPY did give us a nice opportunity on Friday with these buy signals printing here, and we got a nice move up and then a gap the next day. We've had a lot of news with Trump, so it's been pretty difficult and choppy market as for the overall theme of whether we're going to go higher, lower, trade sideways. And right now we're just trading sideways because every time we are trying to move higher, we keep getting sold off by um, Trump, essentially putting out news. So that happened on Thursday. It got bought back up, but then Friday happened again, and then we ultimately sold off again. So right now we're in chop mode and we're trading between 610 and 575. But this past week we had a really tight range. I mean, really 595 to 610, so 3% range. Um, so we can look at some of the stocks that have a plus or buy signals here. Google breaking out of resistance, had been printing signals all week. We had some slingshot ones, and then we pulled back, created a buy signal here, and then had a nice move up as a result after. And you could see here that we continued to build higher lows as we were in this consolidation, kind of pointing for us to probably break out to the upside. So nice breakout on that one. Pretty good move so far. One to keep an eye on as we run into earnings, which 2/4, which is in, so I guess Tuesday is when earnings. So we'll probably wait to touch that one or trade that one. We have to keep an eye on the Qs because we do have buy signals, but it's a little shady out there. So be a little more short term. Bitcoin, I noticed, is kind of selling off over the weekend. This one is just in a clear consolidation. I think that we may have an opportunity here. We've been printing some buy signals, so maybe we can get one this week with some volume, and then that could give us a push to the upside and breakout. But we'll just have to see because with this is a very news driven market, it seems. So you can see we've got this pretty clear range here between 110 thousand and then 90-ish thousand. So we're trading in a pretty hefty range. But recently price has been tightening up, volume has been decreasing. So we should see a breakout one way or the other here shortly. NASDAQ, we talked about this one a little bit already. Let's see here. Looked at SPY, Microsoft, nothing really to say about this one. Do we have a weekly signal? Um, yeah, I mean, we did, and then earnings kind of shot that down. So nothing really actionable for Microsoft. It's pretty weak in comparison to the overall market. You can see strength score 40, -2. We're 12% away from the highs. Yeah, nothing too great there. SPY, we discussed that one. AVGO trying to bounce back. So with this one, we kind of just there's nothing really to do here. We had some high volume on Friday, so this bounce off the 50 has shown some pretty good volume. So that's uh helpful, right? So chart's just kind of ugly. Same thing with Apple. Chart's kind of ugly. Nvidia, we're consolidating. Maybe we'll break the lows and trade lower into the earnings. We'll see. Tesla does look pretty solid. It's held up pretty well. It's creating this flag. I think that sooner or later it's tightening up to break out at some point. So we have to be on the lookout. This is probably, let's go through the rest, but that's probably the best looking chart so far. Netflix may just need some time. Meta's already made its move. TSM, kind of just trading sideways. Let's see how that weekly chart looks. Um, Yeah, weekly chart is still intact. So uh this one pretty solid potential to play this to the long side if you've got a longer term view. You can see we had big volume on Friday. It actually exceeded, or this past week, it exceeded volume in terms of when the earnings report came out, when the last earnings report came out. The last earnings before, well, actually that one was higher volume. Um, but you can see we had some pretty good buyer volume. We do have a weekly squeeze. So you can see the last three times we've had above average volume, you can see it's been green, green, and green. So that's a good sign for buyers. So this has to remain kind of a top one to pay attention to in terms of what we could be looking to trade in terms of the semi space. Amazon, this one looks pretty good. It's got earnings coming up. Um, Nothing too much to say about this one. ES, talked about this one already. Um, okay. So with that being said, top two right off the bat, Tesla is the best looking one. Out of any, this consolidation pattern is a good looking chart pattern. And then TSM. So TSM is the other good looking one. We can step out and look at the weekly charts a little bit here. So we'll just go through and look at these weekly charts. Yeah, you can see buyers are still in control. You can see how do we get that to go away here? Okay, that should do the trick. Um, Man, it's not going away on my end. Hide. Oh, I hide it. Well, we're gonna have to just shorten that up. All right, whatever. So you can see buyer volume has still kind of continued to be uh, the dominating force here. So you can see we had high buying volume there and there. So, and then we had seller volume there. So Really, we're stuck in this range, but you can see right now the buying is outweighing the selling. So keep that in mind. Google, high volume breakout. Bitcoin kind of trading sideways. That one seems to be a little undecided. Um, Nasdaq had high selling volume this week, so that's interesting. Same thing with Microsoft. I'd beware of this one. Let's take a look. When was the last time I saw some volume like that? Here, here, and here. So yeah, Microsoft could definitely see some more downside. SPY headed back in the weekly squeeze. ABGO looks like it was a pullback back to the 20. So no big deal on that one. You can see anytime we've pulled back on to the 20 has been pretty much a dip buy opportunity. Apple, similar story, pull back to the weekly 20. Um, and we're still just rocking and rolling. NVIDIA, we're down to the weekly 50. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty good grasp on how the overall markets are looking. So still looks great with a weekly buy signal, little extended, but you can look for continuation there. Yep. Weekly dip buys have been great for TSM, and then Amazon, nothing really to see there. Okay, cool. So weekly charts we've gone over. Um, let's look at market leaders, emerging market leaders, see if there's anything interesting setting up. So we don't have any daily, but we've got a few weekly charts to check out. So ARM, this one had a nice breakout. It's got earnings coming up. We'll give that one a pass. This one below the 200, not really interested. Okay. This chart's pretty interesting. GTLB, this is an interesting chart. I'm not going to buy it up here. This is where you should have bought it. You can see we had a few accumulation with multiple green bars down here. And um, you can see those buy signals were with high volume. So um, that led to that move there. Weekly chart. Okay, this one looks pretty good. If it can pull back, this moves with gold. This has a weekly buy signals that's been printing. So you can see here and here. Create an alert. Crosses below there, potentially. This does have earnings as well. We're going to see that happen a lot. I don't know about what this chart is. Maybe a cup and handle base with a breakout. 211's earnings. That one's a little too far down for me. This one has too much baggage for me. This one was a solid opportunity, though, for sure. Um, XPV, that was a nice breakout there. Okay. Now let's take a look at nothing really too interesting with that there. So now we can take a look at longer term. Longer term picture stuff. ACHR. This chart looks like it's going to consolidate for a while longer. RUM. This one's starting to get tight. I do like this one. If we can get some volume into this one, I think that we're going to break out one way or the other. And I want to think that it may be upside. We had a slingshot buy on Friday. I want to look for volume to start coming into this one to see a breakout. You can see volume has really started to dry up. So we're getting to a point where we may break out. And I think the first day we get some high volume action, we're going to see a nice breakout one way or the other. So put that one on your watch list. I'm gonna write that down. Um, so rum. And so I usually just take the ones that I find, and add it to my watch list. So Bitcoin is also one that we're going to want to pay attention to. As discussed, TSM, and lastly, or what was the other one? um, Tesla. Cool. Coin. Okay, so this one has earnings coming up. DocuSign. I do like this setup. So this is a pretty solid looking chart. We've got resistance at 100, but it looks like this thing may want to break out. You can see both high volume action days have came from buying pressure. So to see this one continue, we broke out of this consolidation range. So I think this one, once it breaks this weekly 200, we should see a pretty quick move to the upside. So keep an eye on that. That one looks really solid, and we'll be watching out for that one. So Docu, add that to the list. Um, Lunar, this one looks pretty good as well. Had a little trouble on Friday, but I think space stocks are going to break out here pretty soon. You can see the last. So it's good to look at, and it's really helpful to have signals that are concrete on the chart, because then you can go back and take a look and be like, all right, well, what happened the last times this printed signals? So we had a signal here and it had a nice move up, and then we had a signals in here during this consolidation, then we had a nice move up. We had signals here which gave us a nice move up, and then now we're trading sideways, but we did print a signal. So we definitely want to pay attention to this one, because the last few signals have produced really great results. So like if we look, let's say we get in on the breakout, it's an 82% return. Not too bad. 63% return, also not too bad. And then we don't have too much overhead resistance. So, I mean, we've got a lot of sellers. This one up to 130. So that there could be a decent bit of sellers bag holding from back here. I think that might start to show up in these areas here. So we'll just have those marked. But it seems that those are a pretty decent bit away. So this could be a $30 stock here pretty soon. So add that one to the watch list. Tiger, I don't know about this one. It's just been a consolidation for a while, so I'm not too eager to jump on it. Okay, Toast, I actually do like this chart a lot. It does look pretty solid. 219, it's got enough time. So TOST, we'll add that one to the watch list. Yeah, this one looks like it broke out of base and is now beginning an upside move. Okay. And then if we go to let's check out anything near 52-week highs. Always a good one to pay attention to. Um, Burlington. So we had an eye on this one earlier this week, and it tried to break out and just failed miserably. So I still have my alert set to see if it breaks out of there, but we didn't end up trading it because it obviously failed its breakout big time. So we'll keep an eye on that one. eBay, we traded this one last week, had a nice trade on it. looking for some volume to come in into this one to be able to trade it to the upside. But right now, there's no volume coming in, so we kind of just have to sit and wait. Google, we discussed. It's got earnings coming up. This one's way too choppy for me. TOST, we talked about. Take Two, I like this one. Uh, Based on the sell off on Friday, I think it just needs more. Well, we have earnings, so can't really do anything about that one. GE, take a look at the weekly chart. Solid weekly chart. We're getting some volume coming in. So maybe we look for a spot. Let's see how, yeah, it beat earnings by 35% or expectations. So we're gonna want to add GE. It's got a weekly chart, buy signals. We max this out. There's resistance here. Cool. So yeah, it's a good looking chart. We've got high volume coming in these past few weeks, and now we're starting to see a breakout. So let's see if we can find a lower time frame way to get into that. Burlington, we discussed. DKS, this one looks like it's a pullback. So um, let's see if it can hold the retest here. So DKS, another one to add to the books. So broke out on high volume. Let's see if it can retest. eBay, we talked about that one. Looks great. Oh yeah, GTLB. It's breaking out on high volume with buy signal. So um nice setup there. KGC, similar story, breaking out on weekly high volume. It's got earnings coming up, Meta, PBI, Ross. Uh okay. So I think let's just check one other scan just in case we're missing anything. But this is really it. So that's all the main ones that I want to look at. If you run through a scan that looks at stocks within 15-20% of 52-week highs and you find the ones that have signals, you'll be good to go. You should hit everything. So let's look at weekly buy signals printing. Let's do daily. Daily buy signals printing. This is the scan that comes with the indicator when you purchase it. May take a second. Always run slower when I'm running on stream. There we go. Okay. So let's run through these real quick. Nope. Nope. Grid dynamics. What's up with this one? Earnings on 220. It's a pretty solid looking chart. So let's add that one. GDYN. Do a little bit more work on that one. No. RUM we talked about. No. No. This one's in a base. No links. Oh, wow. We got a lot. We can go pretty quickly then. AXS. How did the earnings come out on this? Okay, so they beat. Cool. Adding that one. It's a great looking chart. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I remember correctly, this had a major sell-off. Yeah, a lot of overhead supply there. We can avoid that. Calm. I don't know what that is. Hockey sign we looked at. Always want to zoom out and see what the overhead supply looks like. It'll knock out a lot of stocks that you're looking at. It's also nice when you're looking at stocks at all-time highs. Liberty Media. It's got earnings coming up. 227. It's the Google shares. Google. This one also looks good. HSAI. This one is in the robotics. It's got a weekly. Jazz. Looks really choppy. This one looks pretty good. Looks like it's breaking out of a huge consolidation. Monthly buy signal trying to print. Worth noting, JBTM. So next thing, I take these, and if they're looking at, I'm looking at them as swing trades. What I'll go in and do is I'll look at the fundamentals. So how do the fundamentals look? And if they're exceptional, I'll be more inclined to trade it than just some random stock that I have no idea what it is. You got to do a little more research on it. So first, it's got to pass the chart test. Magnificent Seven, that looks really good. That makes you pretty bullish on the market when you see that. It's a great looking chart. So that's the Magnificent Seven chart or stocks. Okay, we're getting there. That one's a solid looking one. Solid looking base. NTRA. Earnings. Earnings. Okay, so this is a recent IPO. We're just going to want to put this down because it could have pretty explosive move. So we'll see. Earnings coming up. Roku. Root. This one does have earnings, but that was a nice buy. That's a great looking chart. Earnings, earnings. Okay, that's my list. All right, so we've got a pretty wide list. Now, what you're gonna want to do is start knocking it down. I'll take a picture of this and post it, but uh Rum, Bitcoin, TSM, Tesla, DocuSign, LUNR, TOST, GE, DKS, GTLB, GDYN, AXS, HSAI, JBTM. I wrote the mags just to pay attention to that one because it looks bullish. So that's good for the market. NTRA and PRMD. All right, that's the list. Hopefully this helps. And then we'll keep an eye on these into the week. And you can kind of sort these from your favorites and then also get rid of any of them that you don't like or the fundamentals aren't there for you. But this is how I go through and do my watch list. And I do some different scans. I look at the overall markets, I look at the major names, and then I go through and look even further. I'm actually going to add XYZ here as well because this one is looks like it's breaking out of base as well. TOST does look better. They're in similar components, but yeah. All right, guys. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.